Alright, it's that time of the year again. The NCAA Tournament. What do we got this year? Oh yeah. The one seeds this year are Villanova, Kansas, North Carolina, and Gonzaga. Should be a good one. Nobody really got snubbed this year. You could still say that.
Cal.
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 You could say, maybe Vanderbilt didn't deserve to be in, or Providence, or maybe even
Seton
like
Hall.
Marquette or
Seton
Seton Hall. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't introduce him, but this is my buddy Thomas Doe here.
Yeah.
Have as a guest right now. He's decided instead to fill out a bracket instead of doing a video. Or maybe he still will do a video, we'll see. If he does, I'll post a link to it. Anyways, let's get started. Or first, let me tell you about last year's bracket. Last year, two things happened for the first time ever in my 7 or 8 years doing this. For the first time ever, I got two Final Four teams correct. Those were Oklahoma and North Carolina. However, it was the first year my national championship pick, or rather my national champion pick, got eliminated first round. That was Michigan State. So, kind of interesting. Also, I'd like to mention that I have a huge problem picking Cinderellas. Last year, I kind of got off that problem. Only picked one Cinderella, Little Rock, who actually advanced to the second round. I had them going to the Sweet 16, but unfortunately, they didn't make it that far. But you know what? It's all good. For that matter, let's get started. Alright, let's start off with the East region. Now, we have two first four games. Where's my pen? Let me grab my pen. Let me grab a pen, rather. Oh, I'm pretty far away from the camera. Let's see how my sound picks up for me. Alright, I'm gonna go with a blue ink pen. I'm gonna test this one out, see if it works. It's good. Alright. Mount St. Mary's or New Orleans? I don't know. This one doesn't even really matter. I'm going to pick Mount St. Mary's. And Providence and USC. Providence is one of those teams that I said you could probably argue that they shouldn't have made the tournament, and say maybe a team like Cal or Illinois State could have gone in, but we're going to pick USC. Alright, so Villanova, Mount St. Mary's. Going to go with Nova on this one. And this pen actually kind of sucks, so I'm going to change it out. Nova. Wisconsin and Virginia Tech. Going to have to pick Wisconsin on this
You got
one.
Purdue or Vermont? Yeah.
Virginia, North Carolina, Wilmington. Here's one of my upsets. And Florida and East Tennessee. This could be an upset, but I'm going to go with Florida. USC and SMU. Ooh. Well, you know what? USC. They're the better team. Baylor and New Mexico State. Going to go with Baylor. And South Carolina and Marquette. South Carolina. Never been a big fan of Marquette. Duke and Troy. And here, I'm going to go with the absolute unthinkable. Alright, now to move on to the Sweet 16. You know what? I've always doubted Villanova in the past. Never really had a lot of, much faith in them in the tournament. It was the year after their Final Four appearance, the first Final Four appearance earlier this decade. I think it was 2009 or 2010, where they made the Final Four with Scotty Reynolds. After that, the year after that, I picked them to win the whole thing, and they disappointed me by losing in the second round. And then last year, I picked them to lose in the second round. They won it all. So, and this year, I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to do the same thing. I was going to have them lose maybe Sweet 16 or Elite 8. But I just can't see them getting past Wisconsin. I just can't. Wisconsin's just way too good, and North Carolina, Wilmington is going to be a Cinderella story. USC and Baylor. I'm going to go with Baylor. Last year they were a huge disappointment in the tournament. But this year they'll get pretty far. And this Duke gives a gift to South Carolina. All right, the West region. No playing games here. Although maybe Vanderbilt should have been a playing game because they have a 19-15 record, which isn't very good. They did pull off an upset of Florida in the SEC tournament, though. Maybe that's why they got in. Well, Gonzaga's going to beat South Dakota State. That's one thing. You know, eventually, at some point, a 16 seed will be the 1 seed, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. The reason why it's never happens is because 16 seeds are usually teams that have not won their conference tournament. I mean, did not win the conference regular season rather, but they won the conference tournament and were probably a lower seed or something, or the conference just wasn't very good. Eventually, it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen this year. Kind of foreshadowing the next 2 brackets, which we'll get to shortly. Northwestern is in their first ever tournament. I should have mentioned that. And they will beat Vanderbilt. Notre Dame and Princeton. Now I was tempted to pick Princeton, but gonna do a little bit of a spoiler here. I am picking every other 12 seed to win. So one of them had to lose. Notre Dame's a really good team. And you know, the Ivy League's won the last couple of years, so I was thinking about maybe picking Princeton, but I probably would have if they were playing somebody else, but going to go with Notre Dame and going to pick West Virginia over Bucknell. Maryland and Xavier. Going to pick Maryland. Melo Trimble. And Florida State, Florida Gulf Coast. I was thinking about this for another upset pick. I'm going to go with Florida State. St. Mary's, VCU. Going to pick St. Mary's. Arizona, North Dakota. I'm going to pick Arizona. Gonzaga and Northwestern. Going to pick Gonzaga here. West Virginia, Notre Dame. Going to go West Virginia. Which is going to be trouble for Gonzaga. I was considering Gonzaga for their first ever Final Four, but this one, I'm thinking about. I'm not really sure. That's going to be a tough one for Gonzaga. Maryland, Florida State, I'm going to pick Maryland. Melo Trimble, really good player. Arizona and St. Mary's. I'm going to pick Arizona. And we'll move on to the next bracket. Midwest region. Got one playing game here, which doesn't matter too much. I'm going to pick UC Davis. They're in the tournament for the first time ever. But they're going to lose to Kansas, of course. Miami and Michigan State.
I'm done filling out my bracket.
Yay. I'm not done yet because I'm recording right now, but
Okay.
I'll take a look at yours when I'm done with this.
Okay.
Michigan State and Miami. Michigan State's not going to lose in the first round 2 years in a row.
Of course, they can't. They're not going to lose.
Iowa State and Nevada. I'm going to pick Nevada. Purdue and Vermont. Another upset I was considering, but no way. Purdue's not going to lose in the first round 2 years in a row. And yeah, they're not going to lose in the first round 2 years in a row. Creighton and Rhode Island. I'm going to pick Rhode Island. For the upset, Oregon and Iona. I'm going to pick the Ducks here. Michigan and Oklahoma State. I'm going to pick Michigan. And then Louisville, Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State in the tournament for the first time ever. They'll unfortunately lose to Louisville. Kansas and Michigan State. Michigan State's not going to get past Kansas. Nevada and Purdue. Purdue's going to beat Nevada. Caleb Swanigan, a hell of a player for Purdue. you'll get to the Sweet 16. Rhode Island and Oregon. Now, Oregon, they were at least an Elite 8 team for me, rather at least a Sweet 16 team for me coming into the day. But then I found out that they lost their big man, Chris Boucher, for the season. So, because of that, I'm going to go with Rhode Island for the upset. And that's another Cinderella team for me. And then Louisville and Michigan, that's a rematch of the national championship 4 years ago. And Louisville's going to win this one again. Moving on. And the South Regional. And look at that. We got one of my favorite teams right here, the Razorbacks. We do have a play-in game. We got Kansas State and Wake Forest. I'm going to go with Wake Forest to win that one. All right, now on to the regular games. North Carolina, Texas Southern. No way Texas Southern is going to win that one. And of course, I got to pick the Razorbacks. Seton Hall, I'd pick them against any other opponent, but not against my Razorbacks. I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee for the upset. They were the ones who took down my national champion pick last year. And then another upset. We haven't had a 12-13 matchup in a while. So why not this year? I like Winthrop. Cincinnati and Wake Forest. Cincy has just never really been at least of late, they have never really been a good tournament team. But I'm going to have them beat Wake Forest. UCLA and Kent State. I'm going to go with UCLA. Dayton, Wichita State. It's kind of a rebuilding year for Wichita State. Dayton lost in the first round last year. Then they won't again this year. They got a really good coach in Archie Miller. Yada, yada, yada. Kentucky, Northern Kentucky. Since I heard Northern Kentucky won their tournament, I had a feeling they're going to be a Cinderella story, but I can't see them beating Kentucky. I just can't. All right, so North Carolina and Arkansas. Me picking Cinderella teams, it's been a problem for me because I like to go with my heart over my head. But here I cannot go with my heart over my head. If you know what I mean. And you know what, Winthrop, the last time I went there, they were in the third match. I thought they were going to make it to the Sweet 16. They lost in round 2. You know what? It's their year. Cincy and UCLA, no way Cincy's going to win that. Dayton and Kentucky. Okay, so with that, we have our Sweet 16 teams. We have 3 Cinderellas in the Sweet 16, or rather, we have 3 Cinderellas on my bracket in the Sweet 16. We got North Carolina, Wilmington. We got Winthrop, and we got Rhode Island. It's an 11 seed, a 13 seed, and a 12 seed. The last couple of years have not been kind of Cinderella teams, unfortunately. It's been kind of sad. But, that happens, unfortunately. Anyways, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Wilmington. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. That's going to end Wilmington's Cinderella run. Baylor and South Carolina. I'm going to pick Baylor. Gonzaga and West Virginia. This is a tough one for Gonzaga, really tough one, but I'm going to have them squeak on by. Maryland and Arizona. This is a tough one for me. You know what? Melo Trimble gets the Elite 8. I'm taking the risk here. I think Arizona might have been a little too tired from that run. And I don't know. I like Maryland. Kansas and Purdue. I was tempted to pick Purdue, but I'm going to go with Kansas. And Louisville and Rhode Island. Another Cinderella run ends. North Carolina, Chapel Hill rather, and Winthrop. And that's it for the Cinderellas, unfortunately. Cannot see Winthrop beating North Carolina. Kentucky and UCLA. Kentucky. All right, so that's our Elite Eight. And the Cinderella teams are gone now. But we do have an 8 seed. 8, 3, 1, 6. We also have a 6 seed. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we do have a 1 seed that's gone, that's Villanova. A 1 seed and a 2 seed. 2 seeds, actually. Arizona's gone, too. I really hate those people that always pick all, 1 seeds for their entire Final Four. I just don't like that. To me, I think you're just making it easier and stuff. It did happen once. That was like 2008. Hopefully it never happens again, because then those people that, wanted to go with the safe picks just got it right. I'm never going to pick all number 1 seeds. In fact, I've never had more than 2 1 seeds. So, all right, now to move on. Who are our Final Four teams? Well, Wisconsin is going to beat Baylor. That's going to be a surprise. That's a surprise for me. I just saw this bracket and was like, you know what? Man, Duke's going to lose early. Nova's going to lose early. This might be the year for Wisconsin. They've got a pretty damn good team. They've got Nigel Hayes, Bronson Koenig. Who have been around a while, and they're a really good tournament team. And I just had to pick them to win this bracket, this region. Gonzaga and Maryland. Gonzaga's due for a Final Four appearance. I like picking teams that are due. I've picked. That's why I picked Michigan State to win all more than once. They're due, but they always choke. Gonzaga's due for a Final Four appearance, so I had to pencil them in there. Now Louisville and Kansas. Kansas is going to suffer heartbreak once again. Louisville was my pick to win it all in 2013, and guess what? They won it all that year. That's the only national champion I picked correctly ever in 7 or 8 years doing this. And you know what? I'm going to have them go to the Final Four again this year. I like their chances. I think Kansas personally is going to choke again. And now I'm going to need some help on this one. This is a really tough pick. Kentucky, I was picking them to win it all before the season started. North Carolina has a really good core of players. In fact, I'm going to take a break right now and figure this one out. But whoever wins, I'm going to just give you a bit of a spoiler. Whoever I pick to win this game is going to win it all. Okay, my decision has been made, and I'm picking North Carolina.
Me too.
So, Gonzaga, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they probably, I don't know how many other people are picking Wisconsin to be in the Final Four, but they're kind of a surprise to make it this far. And so I'm going to have Gonzaga beat them. Well, I'm going to have them lose to Gonzaga. And Louisville and North Carolina, I'm going to be picking North Carolina. And you know what? Tar Heels are going to win it all this year. They came up this short last year, this short. And this year they're going to take it all. And the score, I'm going to say, you know what? I think the semifinals are going to be bigger. I'm going to go with 86-74. That's going to be my final score. All right, so that's my bracket. Tell me what you think in the comments. Please put a like rating if you liked it. So on, so forth. And oh yeah, if you like, share it. Share it on your social media, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to share it. And hopefully maybe it'll get seen by like ESPN or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't know if I even deserve that, but you know what? Why not? If you want and you like this video. All right. So long, and let's see this bracket get busted.